Thank you so much, Sovina. I'm really happy to be here. It is a serious topic, and I think we have to join efforts. And we are really closely cooperating. Yesterday we were opening another project, Equal, funded by the European Union, of a consortium of Armenian and international NGOs, where we tackle different aspects of this topic. You see, it is a topic that affects all of us. It is a topic that is often poisoned and polluted, because either they say we are exaggerating, we are focusing on the wrong topics in a difficult situation like it is in Armenia, or they tell me that you have traditional values and I'm challenging these traditional values. And I think none of these arguments count and none of them are right. So really today I come to listen to you. I have the greatest respect for NGOs and human rights defenders in this area, because you are confronted every day with verbal but also physical, psychological and sexual violence. It is going under the screen. That's the most toxic element. And you see, I remember when I arrived in this country, one of the first situations I had that I learned that Larissa Minassian from the Open Society Foundation was attacked. And I said, let's do something. Let's put a post, simply put the photo of the two of us. And I know her since I was here the first time. Unfortunately, this triggered reactions by the civil society saying that I meet the wrong persons and somebody had advised me in the wrong way. And these people didn't get that this was an attempt to protect her and to show that we stand up for people who are threatened, who are aggressed physically or simply verbally. So I think, and since this time it is ongoing. I have the impression, and it is not only here, I have to say, it is getting worse. It is getting worse with the global situation. It is getting worse under the impression of the war in Ukraine. It is getting worse under the impression of the ongoing conflict you have to face. It gets a little bit this narrative, it is not important. Let's cope with the real things, and then one day we can come back to these women. But let's say that the recognition of the women's rights cannot be delayed, and it means that we also have to protect the most vulnerable and the most exposed people to violence, to injustice, to threats. And on this, I will not give up. And yesterday in my conference, I said, you see, whenever I post something on this topic, I get a lot of dislikes. I have no problem with this. Whoever wants to attack me on this topic, feel free to do so, because it is really going to my heart. I think we all went through difficult moments. Mine were much less than yours, I must admit. I think this struggle is today on the agenda of all national but also international actors, and we see really the need to speak out. You know that violence can be manifested in different levels, on the level of society, institutions, business. We talk about sexual harassment in a environment, job environment, yeah, but also individual, often from the families, this we also have to acknowledge. And it became worse with COVID, and it became worse with the threats we are feeling daily. I think we have to fight all sorts of violence. This elegant psychological violence can be the most toxic one, and you can find it in your private environment, you can find it in your work environment, and this is not tolerable. I think there's no other way. This can't be accepted, and we have to put this right. So this is, a lot of it comes from stereotypes. Again, we all have to fight these stereotypes. By the way, I discover that they get more. If you look, let's say, on the image of girls and boys, and this is not only here in Armenia, I can tell you in my own home country, when I see children books, I discover that everything we stood up for and we fought for in the 70s and 80s, they are coming back, these Barbies, yeah? They come back to us. And this is really an environment which is not promoting gender equality, not promoting women empowerment, and not saying that we are intelligent persons who can do a job, who are not, you see, we are not just good looking. It is not the essence of a woman to be good looking. And one day, if you give up, I'm very much for motherhood, but this day of beauty and motherhood, sorry, as a poor little German, I can't stand it. Because I think women are much more. So we have to look that everybody can feel safe. This means we have to start very early. We have to start in the schools, in the college, in the universities. We have to address parents who try to put their girls in little dresses with big things in their hair, and to make them this stereotype of a nice little girl. No, they are girls who want to climb trees. Let them climb the trees. And I think we have to create a safe environment. Means, again, this is not only a problem here. Yeah. In cases of sexual harassment, you often have the narrative that women are producing it themselves. Oh, why do they have this short skirt? Why do they walk around late in the evening? Sorry, we have to create an environment where a woman can walk around also late in the evening. And if we say no, we mean no. And this should be accepted both by the husband, by friends, family, and foreigners, and the business community. I think in a lot of countries we now really put this into legislation. In Armenia, I think we have to work on this. There's still a lot to be done, really to get it into the legislation. Also to follow up on domestic violence, but also on harassment. Yeah? Because it is very difficult to define harassment. And then you have the added problem of sexual harassment. So you need a clear legal description, and you have to create the mechanism that make it possible that you can get your right in the court. But therefore we need to have the legal assessment, and we have the legal definition. This is still lacking. And now I say one word. I know there will be people who again don't like it. I'm standing up and I want to see. You have 4 months left, so hurry up. I want to see the ratification of the Convention of the Council of Europe on combating and preventing and combating sexual harassment, not to say this one word that always brings everybody in rage. I think it is an obligation you have according to the comprehensive and enhanced partnership agreement. There is nothing that stops you except certain old guys who come up with arguments that I think are not acceptable. So, you have 4 months, go ahead, do it, because this will really help the reputation of the country, but it will also give us more instruments to protect women. So, I stand here, I listen to you, I'm happy to be here.